Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first lab for Module 2, which is 2.1.2 lab that is exploring the lab interface. This is the first lab for Module 2, but there's no lab in Module 1. If you already go to Module 1, this is the first lab that you are going to face in this material. So since it's the first lab, it is your opportunity to explore what how to interact with the lab interface. That is the main purpose of this lab. However, it's also the first step to set up the environment or the office environment for any job that you are doing, or if either you do for yourself or you do for the customer. So that the first step that you have to do, that's what we're going to practice in this lab. So let's start with the instruction that given to us. It say you have been hired as a network technician for a small corporate network. Today is your first day on the job, and you need to familiarize yourself with the network. In addition, a new employee will be working in office too, and you need to set up their computer. So what we understand from this instruction, you as IT specialist, you're not just fixing the computer or you're not just set up the computer. You also deal with the networking part. So that is why it mentioned here, you are in the networking closet. So that is what we are seeing here. So this is really important, not only for this lab, but for the next different lab that we will face in the future modules. So you have to understand how this closet is set it up, but hopefully we'll talk about this one in future. But for now, that you just need to keep up, or you have to keep that in mind, that you not only access to the computer part, but you also access to the networking part. So before we start with the instruction that is say in this lab, your task is this and that. So before we start working on the task, I want to make sure that you guys understand how to interact with this environment first, because this is your first part, the first thing that you start with this lab. So the first thing that I want to make sure you know how to do it, what to do it, is like whatever given to you, how you can able to see the other side. Like, for example, this is the closet. So this is the back side or maybe front side of the closet. So what the back side look like? Maybe this feature is not enabled. Sometimes you cannot able to see like the feature which is not enabled. However, you can just come here where it say like switching or like turning around. So you can click on that one and then you can see the front and the back. So that's something the instruction sometimes doesn't tell you what you're supposed to do. It just say this one, and then you don't really know where that you got that one from. That's what I go through this lab. It's really important. So if it's front, as you see, it's already gray out. That means we are already on front. So we can click on back to see what the back side looks like. So here is the back side of this closet. As you see here, there's different connection. As I said, we will talk about how this cable and what it is and what it means. So we will talk about that. And then like, as you see, there's some power already connected, some of it's not. So, and then as you see, there's the internet cable, which is some of it is already connected, but some of it's not. Hopefully we'll see this kind of lab in future, but for now, The only thing you need to know is how to go back and forth. So you have to just switch this and that. Right? So the other part is right here. What we see here is more information, not only the outer part, but it's also, you can also look into the inside, depend on what it gives you. So like this one, you can able to see the power supply and server. Also power supply and server. So like it depend on what you look at. It could be like more information that you can able to do. So if we click on that, it give like this power supply right here, give more information on the right side. And if you want to read more what's going on and want to know, but mostly maybe you don't really need this part to do the lab, but to understand the lab, that's what something you have to be careful with. For sure, for back and front is something that you will use it all the time, but this part is maybe not. But the reason why I show you guys here is to make sure you understand how to learn about one specific thing. If you just do the lab, you not really learn that much. You have to know what exactly going on in this lab, and if you the other one, it's not going to be harder for you. If you just follow the instruction and do it and get out, that is, you will miss some important environments. This is not really actual environment, but it's really look like exact environment that you will work with. So that's why you have to play around with the environment to make sure what's going on. So the same is true for any other device like monitors. We have different monitors. You can go back and forth, or you can do like overview of the monitor, and you can do different things. So that is the first thing that you need to know, how to switch back and forth. The other tricky part is this part. So this side, which is said like select items, depend on what you click on, that thing is popping up on this side. It's not come to this side, it's pop up or it's coming up here. So that like if you click up there, right there, that's what come out. So you can read more about this one, what it is. You can maximize or minimize, and also it will tell you if this part is already connected, and then it will tell you what is connected. This is the router, internet, and the 4SP port. So that is something maybe you're not going to do in this lab, but it is something you can take time and read about, learn about it. So like it's really specific part that you can, okay, what is this? What is that? So if you want to learn more about this one by one, you can click on that. As you see right here, say patch panel, fiber, 24 port, which will be learn about all these in next videos. But for now, that is something really need to know. But when it comes to lab, hopefully we will start back to the instruction and follow the instruction to the lab. But when it comes to the lab, you have to know what's going on down here. So the first part is inventory. Inventory is just like the warehouse or whatever storage room that you have, and whatever you have will be stored in there. So this is exactly the same thing. So what you have in the stack. So that is the inventory. Workspace is actually, as you see this table, so the table is right here. That is just what on workspace. So the wall outlet, as we see right here, and the wall outlet, there's another one right here. So we have two of them. And the closet rack, that's just a rack that is right here. And monitor, keyboards, and those are right here. So like we just have to come back like this. And then that's all what is listed down there. So you can keep like the items right here. This is what we see. And monitor keys, and there's another monitor. So that's why that is what is already on the workstation. Either it's already connected or you just put right there. So the other tricky part is sometimes if you accidentally click here, where it's like the small arrow right here, if you click on that, it just moves like that, and then you don't even able to see it. All right, where I can able to find the inventory and workspace, or how I can able to see that. So the only thing you need to do is click right here, and then it will pop up. And you have to also make sure when you are working on the lab, so you have to make sure you put on the inventory, because the lab is related to inventory, and then everything you get from there and do what you're supposed to do. So that is something that you have to aware of, it, how to hide and then unhide. That's real important part. And it happened to me multiple times. I was like, okay, where it go? But finally, I figured it out. So the different lab has different options. So like some of the lab, like this one, it's a score the lab. So you just score. If you don't really able to finish or whatever you stack, the only way you get out is score, and then you can check another time. But some lab will be have check the answer. So you can check the answer. If you are right, you will move on to the next one. If you're not right, you keep checking until you get right. So I think that kind of lab is really assistance lab, but most of the lab is you have to apply something that you already learned. So be careful with what lab you are working on. So let's back to our task that we have to do for this lab. The first part say, move from your starting location in the networking closet, which we will talk about the networking closet, especially when we start talking about the networking part. But for now, this is where the network start from. So and then we have to go to Office 2. So in order to get Office 2, you can easily just click on floor 1, which is already given right here. So maybe you will start with this one too if you are new to this environment. So click on that. And when you click on it, you can able to see all overview of the building. So Office 2 is right here, which is the other one that was mentioned, but like mostly it will mention the other one. So you can see different environments in different lab. But for this one, this is Office 2, and then you have to make sure you click on hardware. So that is what we are going to work on. So you have to click on hardware, and then it will come back to the same area, the work environment that you was working on, but this one is in Office 2. So after we're done with this one, so like this is good example of the lab I was talking about. The check, if you can able to check your answer, you can check if this part is already marked, but we cannot able to do that. This lab is not allowed us to do that, but you know that we already moved to Office 2. Second is the add monitor to Office 2. All right, so how you can able to add the monitor? Well, as you see here, there's the monitor here, but if you just grab this one, this is not going to be work. Even though it's already kind of selected right here, but you cannot able to do anything. So the only way you can able to do is to know the category of monitor under inventory. So where the monitor will be. The monitor should be on the peripheral device. That's something you need to know. So the peripheral device, if you click on that, you can find the monitor right there, and the other stuff also. Since the instruction is ask us add the monitor, so we grab this one and then pull it up, and then make sure you have the green mark. So like this green area, if you try to put somewhere else, maybe not going to be stay, because like if you want to put right here, it's not going to stay because it's already marked as X. But if you put right here, it's green, so you can leave it right there. So, and then we know we already add the monitor to Office 2, and we have to move to next instruction, which say use an HDMI cable to connect the monitor to Office 2 computer. Now you need to know what you need to connect, how you can able to connect the monitor, which is already mentioned right here, is HDMI. Again, you need to know where you can able to find under what inventory category that you can able to find the HDMI, which is cable, right? We cannot able to find that under peripheral device or peripherals. So we have to go back to cables, and then under cables, we have to look for HDMI. And then we will have to grab HDMI to here. And as you can see, this means as the yellow circle or yellow mark that around the device, whatever device you just click on, either if I click on this one, it will tell you what part of that device have, like what is that device. So like you can able to see there's two sides of HDMI, which is male and male, because both the same. So we have to connect HDMI to monitor and then HDMI to computer in order to both work. So what we need to do is, as I already say, we have to change this one to back because we cannot able to do it from front. Since we are on front side right now, you have to click on back side and then go back to, since we already click over here, it's already recorded down here. I mean, like, it's marked over here. So we have to go back to HDMI and then we have to click on that and then we'll see the other side of HDMI. So you have to drag and then come all the way to here until you see the green mark inside there. Don't release. So keep holding. If you get the green circle mark, leave it right there. So that means it's connected. The way you know is the first thing is like there's some mark there, so that means it's connected. Also, you can come back right here and then see it's connected to the monitor. So since we're done with the monitor connection, still we have the other side, which is not connect yet. So we have to click on computer and then turn it the other side. Depending on the type of computer, it will be maybe different, but this one is actually, you can click on this one to get the other side of monitors. Like sometimes cannot able to, like if you are over here, you cannot able to see the HDMI. So the only way you can able to pull up the HDMI, since you already connect to this one, you have to click right there and then it will bring back the HDMI. And then you drag this one and you can try like different green mark, but like if you don't really know exactly where is HDMI, sometimes I can put in this one, which I for sure is not, even though it's show me the green mark, I know this is not HDMI. So if you release it, it just give you the error. Items cannot be connected to that port because it's not the right port. So either you just try or you have to make sure you exactly know where it go, which is for this one, this is supposed to be this, that's the HDMI. Or you can maximize and then to make sure you can able to see the shape of HDMI. So as you see right here, this, when we are on the same HDMI, is connected right here, it's also connected right here. So we can turn it to front side for monitor, and then we can turn it the computer to front side, and we move on to the next instruction. The next instruction is say use AC power cable to keep the monitor power from the outlets. So This is the power cable. Again, you have to go back to inventory. That you need to know that where is that power would be allocated, which it should be under cable. So under cable, you see the AC power is right there. We have, and then you can drag it to this environment. And then once that's selected, you can see on the right side, we have two sides of the AC power, just female part and male part. For the male part, you can drag it and drop to the wall outlet. And for the female part, you have to turn around the monitor, then you have to make sure you click. So that is why you need to click on the power again, because that you already connected one side, and then you have to, if you click on that one, it pull it up the other side for you. So you just drag and drop that one to here. So as you see here, both male and female AC is already connected. So that's how you know you're able to connect AC to the monitor. Moving on to the next instruction, which say add the keyboard and mouse to the workspace and plug them into back of the computer. That's something you have to be careful with. Where you connect. If you try to connect to monitor, the monitor doesn't have that space. So you have to make sure where exactly you need to put that. So we have to turn the computer around and make sure we are get out of this. And then we have to click on peripheral device again, because that's why you need to know the part of the computer, which we will talk about as we in different part of the computer, which is internal and external, depend on what the user can able to handle and what the system able to handle. And that's the way you need to know which part is the peripheral device and which one is the internal device. So right now we are talking about everything outside, which is peripheral and cables, all are external, not internal. So we have cable here, so we can, we have keyboard. So we drag that one, and as you see, there's one connector, just A-type standard of the mother. So you can, for the keyboard, so you drag that one to this part. You can put on the top, I think, which is work fine, but you can put whatever you want because there's multiple places for USB, so there's no issue right there. And then finally, you drag mouse to the table, and again, it'll come with keyboard type of USB, so you can just plug into next to keyboard. It doesn't matter if you put on the top or the bottom one, so it doesn't matter. As far as it's USB, it will be work fine. So as we see here, this mark is telling you, hey, it's connected. So finally, it said turn on monitor and the computer. So how you can able to do that? You have to make sure you turn it everything to front side. And if you never turn on the monitor, I think that will be the issue, but hopefully you already know how to turn on the monitor. So every time the monitor power is either finding in this side or this side, or sometimes there's the bottom on the back side, which you cannot able to see. So don't expect it that all monitor have the power button down here. So it could be the down here or back side. So whatever the place is, but this one, it seems like there's some little circle right there. So if I click on that one, I can see that is the power. And also moving to computer. So this is the power button for, which is the sign is the same for any computer, but this is for desktop. Press that, and as you see, the computer is about turning on. Here we go. So as you see here, we are in Office 2 computer and you are successfully set up everything. Thank you for watching. See you in next lab.